Hey guys, Captain here. So suppose that you want to build a large Lego diorama, and suppose that you might even want to collaborate with other people rather than doing it all alone, because this is going to be such a large-scale project. It would be really nice if you had some kind of basic way to decide how to break up the actual diorama build and figure out how to combine it when it's time to put it on display. So the members of the Hispabrick Lego user group came up with just that. It's called MILS, which stands for Modular Integrated Landscaping System. And I'm going to show off the basic ideas of it. In the description I'll link their webpage where they go into a lot more detail about some of the finer points and some of the ways you can adapt it for different types of builds. But this that I've built is a basic terrain module. And as you saw at the beginning, really the point is that it's a 32 by 32 base plate with one brick of height and then plates on top. And notably, with a 2-stud offset from each corner, you place a 1x3 Technic brick with the 3 holes in it, or rather a 1x4 Technic brick with the 3 holes in it. And that's so that you can connect it to other modules. Now technically I did say that it's supposed to be a 32 by 32 module, but here I have essentially a half module built. As you can see, you can easily connect it this way. So for display purposes, you know, you can assign certain modules for people to set up and connect them later, and it's easy to disconnect. You know, if you want to connect it another way, you can also do that. And this way, you can be very specific about, you know, making sure the height of everything aligns, making sure that each part of a build gets created properly in dimensions that interlock with the rest. And also, you know, this way you can basically grid out and say, you know, we're going to make a build that's going to be 5 by 6 base plates, and you know, you can basically denote the grid, say, okay, this will be plate A1, A2, A3, B1, B, and assign it to different builders. And even if you're a solo builder just trying to make something large, it's also a good way to keep organized and to be able to easily transport your creation rather than having something very large with, you know, possibly hundreds of studs long interlocked. This way you can take it apart and break it into 32 by 32 pieces, which can be very useful. If you want to do something like different terrains, you know, anything on a basic terrain module is kind of self-contained, but if you want to, say, have a hill or a mountain or a road that goes with other modules, there are also standard specifications you can use, or you could, you know, agree with the other builders in your group of how you're going to do that. But the MILS standard does lay out ways for building hills with certain inclines, so it's the right amount of studs tall. So if you want to collaborate with people, if you're just in agreement that, okay, this hill is going to have this much of an incline, you don't need to be super specific with the, you know, the dimensions of it, because it's understood. Another thing that's often a feature of MILS modules is to have a little bit of a hole here. This is optional, but what you can do is, this is very useful if you want to place any wires in your build. If, for example, you have extraneous lighting, and that can be quite helpful. Other than that, you know, it's definitely not meant to be limiting, even though it has a lot of specifications that might seem so at times. It's meant to be something that makes people's lives easier, because it's basically meant to design an agreed upon standard. You know, if you agree with people using the MILS technique, then they'll know what you're talking about, because it's pretty well documented online. I came across it because I was researching how to build a large diorama. I might employ this for one of my ideas, might not, but I thought it was interesting enough that it's worth making a video about. I hope you guys found it at least interesting as well. Maybe you can incorporate it into some of your builds someday, or share it with your friends who are also interested in Lego. Anyways, if you like this video, I encourage you to give it a like, leave me a comment, send it to your friends, check out my ones, and I'll see you guys next time.